Welcome back to another episode of Warren Cali. In this episode, I'm going to detail the story of an innocent victim named Perla. Perla was a 16-year-old girl from Oakland, California. She went to high school at Fremont High School, and she was described as a smart and high-spirited student. But Perla, she was dating an older man named Juan Carlos, who was 22 years old and a gang member. He claimed the Border Brothers, a gang based in Oakland that's been around for a while. The Border Brothers are known to be for other Mexican gangs like Nortes and the Sureños. On the night of December 1st, 2003, everything would change for Perla. On that night, a man named Anthony was driving in his car, and he was accompanied by his brother Juan, his cousin Fred, and his friends Toro and Dante. About 11 p.m., Anthony parked his car on Bancroft Way near 46th Avenue. As they get out the car, Anthony handed Juan his Tech 9 and asked him to hold it. Anthony and Juan started walking towards 46th Avenue, where they saw two Hispanic men and a Hispanic woman, later identified as Perla, and her boyfriend walking towards them on the opposite side of the street. Anthony and Juan crossed the street and approached Perla and her boyfriend Juan Carlos and the other man that they was with. Anthony was holding his gun in his hand, and he pointed the gun at the two men. Anthony told his brother Juan to check the man's pockets, but Juan found no money. As Juan was going through the man's pockets, he heard Anthony say, "He got a gun." Anthony fired his weapon, and he fired the first shots. Perla immediately fell to the ground, and the man that she was with began shooting back. Juan and Anthony began running, and by the time they got to their car, Juan realized he'd been shot in the leg, and Anthony was bleeding from the chest because he was shot there. Several witnesses seen the shooting, which Perla would die from a gunshot wound to the head. Anthony would go to the hospital, where he was placed in intensive care. Juan didn't seek medical attention because he was on the run. Juan was later questioned by the police, and he told police two Mexican men tried to rob him and his brother, which led to a shootout. Juan and Anthony were later found to be the aggressors in the altercation, and Juan would admit to doing the robbery and shooting, but later recanted his statement, saying police coerced him because he was 17 and he didn't know what was going on. But with all the evidence against him, this would get Juan and Anthony life sentences. Perla was Oakland's 109th murder in 2003, where Oakland ended in 114 murders. She was an innocent victim who died in a robbery gone wrong. RIP to her. This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, make sure you check out my previous episodes. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.